everyone. I'm here in Las Vegas, and with me we have Lara, my very beloved friend, and an Angular GDE, who I'm sure everyone knows for her pragmatic, no-nonsense approach about Angular architecture and for her love for her cats. But Lara, in case there's someone who's been living under a rock in this Angular community and doesn't know you, could you introduce yourself quick?
I sure can. My name is Lara Newsom. I am a software engineering technical lead at Cisco, and we work on a very large Angular application there. And I've been an Angular GDE. I don't even know how long. It feels like forever, but I think it's been like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
So I have
maybe longer, because I think that's my answer.
Yeah.
So
I don't really know how time works.
Me
because,
neither.
as you know, for JavaScript, really any developer, date times are hard. So
yeah.
it also
I agree.
turns out, time is hard. So
and I have also lost that concept since 2020. So it's like, when did I become a GDE? Great question.
It was after the pandemic and before now.
Yeah, if I'm at home, I have to look at my GDE pins. I was like, okay, so that year.
Yeah.
But I don't have them right now, so I can't answer. Sorry.
Exactly. So some number of years I've been a GDE.
Yes.
I do host the podcast, the Angular Plus Show. We talk about all things Angular and Angular adjacent. So enjoy doing that. I do a lot of speaking, and I have some courses on Pluralsight and LinkedIn. So yeah.
And you have 2 great cats.
I have 3 cats now.
3 cats.
Yeah, we foster failed on one because he didn't want to leave. And we love him, so yeah.
Awesome. So I know we're both here because obviously human in the loop, right? Like, even though we have AI agents everywhere, there's some value of just the human connection that we get to experience at these events. And because everywhere we've been hearing about AI stuff, but how would you feel if this was, instead of you and I sitting in person, our agents talking to each other and having a conversation?
There's things I definitely don't want to give away to AI. You know, like I love the personal conversations. I like getting to meet people. I love reading code still, and so like there's definitely, I think I do have sort of a love-hate relationship with AI, because as much as it's amazing what it can do, how it can speed up development, like I'm a little jealous of some of the problems it gets to solve for me now.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's just like some sort of great victory about like, oh, I had this really tough thing I needed to do, and I figured out a way to solve it myself, and here it is, it's working, and it's in production now. And like that feels really great. And so I think I'm still in that point of trying to find like, where do I find satisfaction now in coding, now that AI is doing some of those, what I would consider, they're like the funner challenges. It's like,
the fun parts about
like
programming.
they're like the evil level Sudoku puzzles. So
that's a nice way to put it. I like that.
Yeah.
I know, because oftentimes we would spend 2 days trying to debug something or figure out something, and then it would turn out, it would be just like, oh, it was missing this one small thing that we need to add, like 1 line of code or 2 lines of code, and that had generated so many bugs. But yeah, the satisfaction that we used to get, I guess that's no longer there. But we have other things to look forward to. Like, I know AI is taking away a lot, but probably also giving a lot. And that's one thing that I'm finding a lot of junior developers or entry-level developers struggling with.
Yes.
What has been your experience on your team? Because something that I try to tell people is like, if you wouldn't really just read a manual and know everything,
right?
You know, but also you kind of have to know the bare bones of things.
Yeah, I think like when I started feeling like, okay, I'm a successful engineer, was like, okay, I can kind of have a sense of where this problem is. Like when your spidey sense goes off for the change detection problems, you're like, this is a change detection problem. Like I know what this is. I've seen this before.
One look at it, it's like, I've seen this before.
Yeah, like I don't know exactly what's wrong yet, but I know what kind of problem we're looking at. And I think that's, we actually had a intern last summer, and she asked permission to not use AI to write some of her code, because she'd never written Angular before, and she wanted to really understand what she was doing. And, you know, so I think there are there's that space, like especially for the early career devs, there is value. You still have to understand. We're not at the place where I think you can just hand it all off and say, everybody just use AI for everything. Don't worry what it's doing. And some teams may be there, and that's great. My team is not there. Like that is not where we are.
Yeah.
And so I think understanding what is being output, and just having some intuition, like there's just that value in building the ability to intuit what might be wrong. Or honestly, it's a lot like, I remember early in my career, people would say like, really, the better you are as an engineer is actually how good you are at Googling things.
Yeah.
And I feel like now it's like the more successful you're going to be with AI, it's the better, like the more information you're going to be able to help it sort of like direct the agent to where it needs to go.
Yeah.
Because especially like we have a huge code base, like so much code, and it may not find the right answer right away, or it might have to spin for a long time, burn through a lot of tokens to get what I need it to look at. But whereas if I say, oh, look at this file and do this, like it's a lot faster.
More specific. And you need to have that knowledge. You can't just prompt your way into everything. You need to kind of know your
like you
way
can
around
technically.
It. Yeah. You just run through tokens though. And
then, you have to know like once you've gotten there, like, okay, this is it. This is where I need to be.
Yeah.
And so, I think that's for early career devs, I think it's been a harder struggle because they haven't had to hone, I've had a decade to hone my skills of like, how do you go through a code base and just reading through, different functions and methods and like understanding how things work. And if you don't have that to build on, sometimes it honestly just feels like the agent's outputting magic.
Right.
And, it works, but I don't understand at all how it works.
Yeah.
So
will it continue working when this edge case creeps in? We don't know.
Yep, not sure. We'll find out.
And that's another thing, right? I'm finding AI has been adding there's a new word for it that I'm hearing. Instead of tech debt, people are saying it's like contextual debt.
Yes.
Because we've lost the context about how this is being solved for, except for we asked it to do something and it's been done. But yes, it's still tech debt. It's still things that at some point needs to be solved.
Yes.
It's just being like churning out code doesn't mean that it's for the good just because it's working.
Yeah. One of my roles as a technical lead is I spend a lot of time in the code base just looking for patterns that have been merged that aren't good. Yeah. And I don't like to use good and bad in coding because I feel like everybody's doing the best they can at the time that they write the code. But when you merge a bunch of unit tests with set timeouts in them, you're going to slow down the test suite. Like that code is inefficient. We'll put it like maybe that's a better word. So I spend a lot of time just trying to make sure that and honestly, one of the reasons my team is relatively successful using AI to develop is because we invest a lot of time into understanding what patterns we want to follow, how to write skills, how to write instructions so that we're actually getting the results that we want, as opposed to having to spend hours and hours poring over every pull request to make sure that it's not doing that thing again.
Yeah.
And we spend, I think some people might think that you can write a skill and it's done.
Yeah.
But it's an ever evolving process.
Right.
And I think that's just the whole business is just this is evolving everywhere. Cloud right now. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And you can add to the skills file, which didn't used to be a thing until maybe 6 months ago. It was all about MCPs, and then they became bad, and then the skill files, but then you have to keep editing them.
Yes.
Otherwise, getting the same output for every single prompt that you want the same behavior can become a challenge. And so I'm glad you bring that up, because it's becoming, not just now that it's becoming the whole space is just evolving as prompt engineering itself, but as senior engineers whose roles is heavily involves code reviews, that also has changed a lot. Like you're having to evolve the spec files, the skill files, you're having to review those, and then you're having to review all the codes that anyone might be generating. And it turns out that AI generates a lot versus something that could be maybe solved in one line can
Yeah.
be a big function sometimes.
Yeah,
and it
we
just
noticed that like
adds on.
our AI, like it loves writing like so many test cases. I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
you don't need this many. Like, let's trim this down.
Yeah.
What I do sometimes is I just write the test cases I want, and then I tell it to build the thing that satisfies the test cases.
That's a good tip. That's a smart thing to do too.
Yeah. It doesn't always work, but it's usually pretty good. And then I don't have to worry about going through and being like redundant, redundant. What are you even testing? Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
We have a Cursor bug bot who reviews our code, and sometimes it's just we're trying to add smaller PRs for features that we're still building out, and it'll flag for something like this is not being in the code base. It's like, I know, I'm trying to get there.
Give me a second.
Yes. This is not being used. This unused variable must be deleted. It's like, no, let me be.
Yes, yeah. We had somebody run Cursor against the code base to look for accessibility errors, and it filed like 30 or 40 accessibility issues because we weren't putting ARIA attributes on native elements. Which you're just like, no, that's a no-no. Like, don't do that. But so it's I think it can be a blessing and a curse because it saves a lot of time. And then on the other hand, it took me 2.5 hours to get through all those bugs. And most of them were like, when I open this in an actual screen reader, it's not a bug.
Are you finding yourself to spend more time reviewing code than writing now?
Yeah, it was real bad for a while.
Yeah.
Because like even the devs that, we would get fairly high quality pull requests out of pretty much everyone on the team. And then everyone started using AI to write their code, and like the quality kind of started slipping. Like stuff that we would have never let in before made it through. And
because it's so much and it's hard to stay on top of it all the time.
It is. And I'd say we're kind of like, I feel like we've added enough guardrails in that the quality's gone, it's creeping back up. Like the tools are getting better.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's still just sort of that. And maybe it's because I'm just tired and I'm being more, that's fine. It works. I think I told somebody that I'm like, your career starts out where you're just hacking code and doing the best you can. And then you're like, no, I'm going to write the most beautiful, elegant code.
Like, whatever.
And then now I'm back to the like, whatever, just, does it work? Sweet, let's merge it.
Yeah, it's a future me or a future my agent's problem. I need to care about it right now.
I know, I'm so mean to future me. But yeah, I think I think it's a little bit of everything where like, I've realized that maybe the code doesn't have to be as pristine as I've written it in the past, but also I think the tools we're using are getting better. Like we're getting better at using them. We're kind of, we're getting more tools around the tools to make sure that everything's doing what it's supposed to be doing.
And Angular itself is getting better and more performant and less things that we have to care about, like just the simple change about change detection, the default being on push.
Yeah.
Like it didn't used to be that. And no matter what doc you look at, blog you look at about performance, the number one thing used to be like, you have to use on push, and now it's the default.
Yeah.
So it's great that Angular is evolving so much for us that we don't have to do as much. But what do you think about Angular as a framework in the age of AI? And there are two parts to it. Like it didn't use, like 2 years ago, it's not a framework that AI would even choose to build a prototype.
Right.
However, we're seeing a shift in that.
Yeah.
And we're also seeing a shift in the Angular team addressing these concerns about AI-generated code, helping us with the MCP, the skills files, and all the things that they're adding. So for someone who has never used Angular today.
Yes. So actually, I had this happen. My cousin, he's an IT guy who works for the state of Iowa.
Yeah.
And he wrote me and he was like, if somebody wanted to start learning Angular, what should they do? And I'm like, you should first of all go to the Angular docs.
Yeah.
Try out some of their tutorials, but I'm like, you should download the AI tutor.
Yeah.
It'll help you through a lot of the questions that you have.
Right.
I'm like, they have so much tooling just on the dev site to make it really pretty easy to learn. And at this point, they've worked very hard. I think Angular in the beginning, Angular is an old framework. It's been around a long time. I know that it sounds silly to be like, oh, it's been around since, I think it's 2010. Like, it's so old. But
and still new. It still feels new with all the changes. Like Signals is new.
It is.
That not a lot of frameworks have that concept, to the point that now they're contributing to JavaScript's Signals API.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, they have a there's a TC39 proposal. Yeah, the proposal to add Signals to JavaScript, and that's still like in the early phases, but it has traction. You know, like I think Angular's done a lot. In the beginning, there weren't a lot of great browser APIs to help. Like Angular solved a lot of problems that the browser simply just couldn't do for us.
Yeah.
And what we're seeing now is there's been a real shift in the framework where they're trying to cut out all of the like special sauce Angular stuff that made Angular not only harder to learn, but also harder to integrate with other tools within the ecosystem.
Right.
And so Angular at this point, like there's still things that need work in that department, but it's easier to learn Angular now than it ever has been. And then they have spent a lot of time focusing on the AI tools. So where you can start out as a new Angular developer and be relatively successful by just implementing the safeguards that they've put in place, the documentation that they've put in place. But also then Angular is more compatible now than ever with other tools in the ecosystem, right. Especially like going zoneless.
Yeah.
Zone.js served us very well for a very long time, but
it did its job.
It did its job, and now we're gonna retire it to the Angular Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So that we don't have to have special tools to be able to do the things that other frameworks already were doing. So
yeah, I think it's great too, especially for someone new who, like, I don't know, you mentioned your intern said that they don't want to use AI, but it's like, I don't know, it sometimes can be a great tool if you are able to use the MCP and you're like, am I like just review what I just wrote based on best practices, because that's one of the tools in the MCP server that they've added. And it gives great feedback. And that's also because we have great documentation and the team's spending so much effort making it modern and easy to understand for someone who's never written it before. That
and feels, I think it would be a disservice to the community not to call out all the contributions too, that like, I mean, you make contributions. Look at us contributing. We're contributing right now, but there is just a huge community that really support each other in the Angular community. You know, whether they're building out, you know, like there's Eunice and Reiner building out testing tools, and you know, like the NGRX team has built like signal stores are amazing. I love using them. They're not technically part of the Angular framework, but I don't really like using Angular without it.
Yeah, how long can you go building an app without it? Not much long.
Yeah, like I pretty much can do a good demo app, and then I'm like, okay, now that I have an actual API I need to deal with, I'd like to use my signal store, please.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there's just a lot of excitement, and my intern, that was before the Angular MCP was actually a thing. So maybe she would have a different opinion of it now.
Right, yeah. So I think we got to leverage the tools that we have in hand. And I think Angular team has really set up everyone for success, no matter what your skill level or number of years of experiences in that area. I think it's great what they have for us, and I love using it. I don't see myself ever stepping away from it.
I sure hope I don't have to.
Yeah. Well, on that happy note.
Yes. I feel like we have some Angular colleagues out there that will probably want to hang out with us. So
yeah, we should go check that out.
Yeah,
all right.
Absolutely.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.